day 3 and it looks like the tariffs are here for the long haul. So today we're going to be going over some simple boycott divestment things you can do to support Canadian and not American. Also, disclaimer, I'm aware that not everyone physically and financially can partake in a boycott divestment movement. It's just for those who are financially able to, because I do realize the price point of mass-produced American products are way cheaper than locally made things, but I would still suggest you support the locally made things instead. Start off with alcohol. Even though in most provinces American liquor and beer has been pulled off of shelves and isn't being ordered anymore, a lot of the companies that are made in Canada are actually owned by American companies. A big example of this is Anheuser-Busch and Molson Coors, basically the two big brewers that produce most of the name brand beers, like Bud Light, Budweiser, Coors, and even Molson Canadian. Yes, Molson Canadian is owned by an American multinational company. All of these would be on the boycott list immediately. I would suggest substituting for any sort of craft local beer. This one's probably going to suck the most, but any single Coke and Pepsi product, that's out as well. PC Cola, which is owned by Loblaws. I don't like Loblaws, but they are Canadian, so switch to them. Anything craft, Heinz, Hellmann's, all literally just switch to President's Choice. I really hate Galen Weston, but he's like the only mass producer of all these things in Canada. Instead of going to Costco, go to Canadian Tire. Instead of going to Walmart, go to Superstore. Instead of going to Home Depot, go to Home Hardware. And instead of going to Best Buy, go to The Source. McDonald's sub out for A&W. That is still Canadian owned and they use mostly Canadian products. Starbucks sub out Tim Hortons, Simple Cup. Domino's, go to Pizza. Subway, literally, I'm sure your city has a local sandwich shop right beside you that you've never been to. Go to there, it's probably better anyway. For streaming services, Netflix, that has to go, sadly. Crave is actually owned by Bell Media, so you could switch to that. Instead of Disney, actually there's no substitute for Disney or Amazon Prime. It kind of just sucks. If you have an American Express card, do not use it. Sub out for Interact, which is just a Canada domestic network. Just use your debit card instead. I assumed this one was obvious, but ExxonMobil, Chevron, for getting your gas filled up, go to Petro-Canada and Co-op instead. Those are Canadian. Instead of Uber or Lyft, call a cab or use public transit. That's the best thing I can say for those. And instead of DoorDash or Uber Eats, use Skip the Dishes. That's actually founded in Winnipeg, where I am now. Instead of Lay's chips, you could go for Miss Vicky's or you could go for Hard Bite. Those are both made in Canada. And instead of Doritos, go to Que-Pasa instead. It should be common sense that some things are impossible to boycott, but if we're all working together on this, we could actually make a difference from the bottom up.